You people worship that uniform like it's a damn halo, Raymond Davis spat, his voice booming through the humid Atlanta air. He didn't care who heard. He wanted them to. This black woman has no authority. She's nothing but a slave and a badge. Doesn't deserve the same air as me. From behind the wheel of his white Ford Explorer, Raymond clenched the steering wheel, the leather creaking beneath his white-knuckled grip. Beads of sweat lined his forehead, but it wasn't the heat. It was rage. Officer Tasha Reed stood stoic in the intersection, composed, precise. Her hand calmly gestured for traffic to move. That only enraged him more. Her power, her presence, her fearlessness. Probably got that badge out of pity, he growled. Affirmative action in action. Merit? Huh. The light flicked. She waved him forward again. That was the final insult. He slammed his foot on the gas. The SUV surged forward with a roar, a predator lunging. Learn some respect, trash, he bellowed through the window. The impact was merciless. Tasha's body crumpled against the hood, flipped like a rag doll, and crashed onto the pavement. Her police helmet rolled into the gutter. Her badge skidded, spinning once before it lay stilled at a split second of silence. Then chaos. Jesus Christ, someone yelled. He did that on purpose, a woman screamed from inside a bakery. Raymond calmly stepped out of the car, adjusted his belt, and looked down. No emotion, just contempt. One less hero in costume, he said to the growing crowd. Maybe now the rest of them learn their place. A man shielded his daughter's eyes. Another woman fumbled her phone, trying to dial 911 with trembling fingers. A teenage boy, phone already filming, whispered curses under his breath. Raymond stared at Tasha's broken form on the hot concrete, the sun casting a shadow across her motionless body. Now who's in control, monkey? He sneered. You thought the badge erased your black skin? He leaned forward and spat near her cheek. You belong under a white man's boot. Always have. Always will. Tasha's blood-covered face twitched. Her mouth moved. No words, but her eyes, blinking aware, locked on his. Stop looking at me like that, he roared, kicking gravel at her. You ain't no damn martyr. People began to gather, but hesitated. Ambulance is on its way, someone muttered while filming. It's not my fight, another shrugged. She shouldn't have provoked him. She was directing traffic, someone else snapped. Raymond turned, laughing. Finally, some folks making sense. A woman behind a fruit stand shook her head. They think a badge makes them better than the rest of us. Then a girl, maybe 17, knelt beside Tasha, tears streaming down her face. She took off her jacket, cradled Tasha's head. Back off, someone shouted at her. Don't get involved. She's a police officer, the girl yelled. He ran her over like she was nothing. Raymond pointed at her. Shut your mouth, brat. Another one looking for the victim card. You're a racist murderer, the teen screamed, her hands trembling. Raymond didn't blink. And I'd do it again. A distant wail of a siren cut through the air. Heads turned. Some fled. Some kept filming. Always something, muttered an older woman. This city's lost. Raymond stood like a monument to hate, unmoved, proud. But the sirens grew louder. And for the first time, a flicker passed over his face. Not fear, but something unfamiliar. A black and white patrol cruiser screeched to a halt. Two officers bolted out. Hands on your head. Now, barked the Latino officer, sidearm drawn. Raymond smirked, raising his hand slowly. What's the problem, officer? I just cleaned up the mess. The other officer, a white woman, dropped to her knees beside Tasha, took her pulse, and choked back a sob. She's alive, barely. Raymond chuckled. Now you care? If it was a white man, you'd be live streaming selfies. The first cop lost it. He tackled Raymond, cuffed him hard. You're done. Rot, racist scum. The crowd split, some clapping, some whispering, many still filming that a woman murmured, 2 days and he'll walk free. Raymond, face pressed to the hot pavement, hissed, I don't regret it. But something deep, buried, trembled. 30 minutes later. The interrogation room in Atlanta Metro PD reeked of bleach and old sweat. Raymond sat cuffed, untouched water bottle sweating beside him. He wasn't hot. He was waiting. Through the two-way mirror, Detectives Morales and Hart stared. He has no clue what's coming, Hart muttered. Not yet, Morales replied. But he will. Inside, Raymond looked up at the camera and grinned. What are you waiting for? He muttered. A confession? A tear? He leaned back, legs crossed. I didn't kill anyone important. She thought she could boss me around. Just a black officer. That's already a joke. Tasha Reed lay unconscious in ICU. Tubes, bandages, oxygen. The words critical condition hung over her like a curse. Skull fracture, internal bleeding, cervical trauma. She was just doing her job, whispered her partner outside the oar, hands covering her face. She was just doing her job. A reporter tried sneaking in. An officer shoved him out. In the waiting room, a screen began playing a bystander's video. The whole thing. The SUV, the insult, the hit, the silence, the blood. Back at the precinct, the detectives entered the room. Hart slammed a file on the table. Tasha Reed, age 33, decorated, clean record, no complaints, only child. She's still alive, said Morales. But not for long if this keeps up. Got anything to say? Raymond leaned forward, scanning the photos to a bloodied boot. Tasha, smiling on duty. A training commendation. He exhaled slow. If you'd left me alone, none of this would have happened, he said coldly. She asked for it. You all know it. Hart's jaw clenched. Morales balled his fist. Raymond smirked. I don't regret it. But inside, deep down, a crack had begun to form. And it wasn't fear that it was something worse. The slow, rotting sin of consequence. Raymond Davis sat alone in a cold, concrete jail cell. Cameras tracked his every move. Some guards glared, others ignored him. He sat upright, defiant, though the arrogance had faded. Bitterness had taken its place. All this because she thought she was brave, he muttered. Now she's a hero, and I'm the monster. A passing guard stopped. You want to know how she is? I don't care. She's alive. Barely. Crushed windpipe, fractured skull. Her mom's here. Said if she dies, your face will be a warning to the world. Raymond said nothing. Another inmate from the next cell spoke up. You messed up, old man. Not even God's on your side now. You don't know anything. You'll figure out too late. Raymond closed his eyes, haunted by what he couldn't undo. In a nearby hospital, Officer Tasha Reed lay unconscious, machines keeping her alive. A nurse gently cleaned the dried blood from her hands. Her image filled the news. A proud black officer in uniform, now clinging to life. Raymond didn't laugh anymore. 3 days later, he was transferred to county jail. The charges changed. Aggravated attempted homicide, hate crime enhancements. Headlines followed. Veteran runs over black officer in hate-fueled attack. Officer Tasha Reed, victim of America's deep divide. At his hearing, Raymond ignored his public defender's advice. I'm a victim of a broken system, he said. I don't regret what I did. That quote went viral and sealed his fate that on the fourth day, at 3:47 a.m., Tasha Reed died. Her mother, Lucille, sat silently by her side. No tears, just quiet fury. Raymond saw the news in the jail's common area. Her photo next to a flag. The caption, Officer dies from injuries. Suspect now faces first-degree murder charges. No one spoke. One inmate dropped his tray. Raymond didn't react. But that night, he couldn't sleep. The next day, his lawyer arrived with a plea deal. 35 years, parole possible after 30. She's dead, the lawyer said. This is your only shot. Raymond hesitated. I didn't think she'd die. You didn't think? You ran over a human being and screamed she was worthless. Raymond looked down, voice low. I was angry. Everything felt out of control. And you thought killing a black woman would fix that? Raymond shook his head. I ruined everything. Yes, the lawyer said. And the worst part? You realize it now, when it's too late. Raymond signed the plea that a week later, Tasha Reed's funeral drew thousands. Officers in dress blues carried her casket. Her mother, dignified in silence, stood firm. Speeches spoke of justice and loss. Back in his cell, Raymond watched the broadcast. For the first time, he cried, not for Tasha, but for himself. Not because he changed, but because he couldn't go back, that he finally understood. It was too late to become someone else.